What is up? It is the LAN Party Podcast. Tuesday at 4:02 p.m. We were 2 minutes tardy.
Of course. Like always.
Yep. Oh my god. Fortunately, I don't have to get up to use my mouse anymore. I got an extension cable.
And of course.
By extension cable, I just mean I jacked the printer cord.
And of course, Austin was like, all the time it seems like, we do sound checks and then we have like half an hour to go,
Yeah. Keep putting it on me. Once. It happened once. So, anyways, we actually have a pretty good story to go over today as an opening. Seems like we always find ourselves talking about Fallout 4 just because I guess it's Fallout 4 and
yeah, it's one of the biggest games around.
yeah, so today on my news feed on Facebook, the Fallout page shared a link from Bethesda, and they have announced the upcoming 3 DLCs. So, I'm just going to read it straight off the website. It says, Fallout 4 add-ons, Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, and Far Harbor, and more have been announced. Skip here. Okay, Automatron is the first DLC we're going to go over. The price will be $9.99 US dollars, and then, since we're in the US, I'm not going to read any other currencies. And its release is going to be next month. There's no date yet, but it releases March 2016. And the mysterious Mechanist has unleashed a horde of evil robots into the Commonwealth, including the devious Robo-Brain. So, we'll see the return of the Robo-Brain again.
Yeah.
Those stupid robots that were supposed to be super smart and just weren't. Hunt them down and harvest their parts to build and mod your own custom robot companions. Choose from hundreds of mods, mixing limbs, armors, and abilities and weapons like the all-new Lightning Chain Gun.
Oh, cool.
Even customize their paint schemes and choose their voices.
This all harkens back to a question I've had for a while now. Does the Sunshine Tidings co-op Mr. Handy terminal work on any other Mr. Handys?
Sunshine Tiny. Is that the one with Dr. Goodfields or whatnot?
Yes.
I don't think it does.
That's disappointing. Because I want to take Codsworth there and change his programming to just be.
So, for $10, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, making your own robot followers.
Yeah,
Lightning chain guns. I'm trying to imagine what that's going to look like in combat. Like, is it just like...
Well,
that sounds
like
like Zeus's wet dream.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to feel like Zeus or Thor.
So, that is Automatron. That's going to be the most recent update, or the next DLC. $10, unless a season pass holder. We'll get to all that at the end of the article, but... Wasteland Workshop is the next DLC that they have slated to release, and it's a $5 DLC, $4.99 US dollars, and it releases April 2016. This one's comical. With the Wasteland Workshop, design and set cages to capture live creatures, anything from raiders to deathclaws. Tame them or have them face off in battle, even against your fellow settlers. The Wasteland Workshop also includes a suite of new design options for your settlements like Nixie, I think I'm saying that right, yeah, Nixie tube lighting, letter kits, taxidermy, and more. So the thought of capturing deathclaws and then turning them loose in my settlement just seems a little rude.
Rude.
Guys, you guys haven't had a real good drill lately. We've been pretty tight on raider attacks, so I'm going to bring you the worst possible scenario and see if you guys can cope. Oh, okay, what are you bringing in, Deathclaw? They all die. But, I mean, it says you can tame them, too. Imagine taming a Deathclaw.
Yeah, just having Deathclaw guards standing outside of your settlement.
I wouldn't mess with that settlement. And And last but not least, this seems like the big DLC, the first big DLC that they're going to do. Like, it seems the DLCs so far that I've seen out of these three, you've got, like, those 2 fluff piece DLCs and then the big DLC. So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to kind of do for a while, because Fallout 3 had, like, 5 big DLCs. You know, you had Operation Anchorage, Broken Steel, Mothership Zeta, Point Lookout, and The Pit. Those were pretty big DLCs, I mean, in terms of content that you receive. Bethesda's always released several large DLCs. So, Far Harbor, which is the next DLC we're going to go over, is the one that seems like the big one. And it's priced at $24.99 US, and it releases in May of 2016. And the description is, a new case from Valentine's Detective Agency leads you on a search for a young woman and a secret colony of synths. Travel off the coast of Maine to...
What about me?
I know, it was the damn mineral spirits.
Bink.
Travel off the coast of Maine to the mysterious island of Far Harbor, where higher levels of radiation have created a more feral world. Navigate through the growing conflict between synths, the children of Adam, and the local townspeople. Will you work towards bringing peace to Far Harbor, and if so, at what cost? Far Harbor features the largest landmass for an add-on that we've ever created, filled with new faction quests, settlements, lethal creatures, and dungeons. Become more powerful with new higher-level armor and weapons. The choices are all yours. So that seems like the big one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to get it, though, because I don't know about you, but I'm sick to death of ferals.
Yeah. But synths...
Ferals everywhere.
The Children of Adam, I kind of think it's interesting how they're bringing the Children of Adam. Like, the Children of Adam actually have a purpose, it seems like now.
The Children of Adam are really dangerous.
If you're not wearing power armor.
Well, I mean, you could wear a radiation suit and be totally fine.
Yeah, that's true.
The only problem is nuke grenades.
Yeah.
Those are the only problems. That's what makes them extremely dangerous.
But it seems like, and not only in Fallout 4 did they get a bit of a boost, but now they're actually being included in a DLC, like, as some sort of acting role, which seems nice. Like, and I'm wondering if maybe...
centerpiece.
Yeah, they're adding new faction missions. I wonder if you'll be able to do missions with the Children of Adam. Now the rest of the article, and more important, that this is only the beginning. We have plans for more. More than $60 worth of new Fallout adventures and features to be released throughout 2016. And this is where you've got the naysayers and the people in agreement. Given the expanded DLC plan, the price of the season pass will increase from the current $29.99 to $49.99 US. And that price change will go into effect on March 1st. So, if you are listening to this and still want to get $60 worth of content for the $30 price with the season pass, buy it now, because it's going to go up $20. Buy it now. Now, however, if you've already purchased the season pass for $29.99 and nothing else changes, you still get everything at no additional cost. The full $60 offering of add-on content for the original price of $29.99. In addition, if you didn't buy the season pass yet, there's still time. Anyone who buys it before March 1st for $29.99 will still get the same effect with $60 worth of content. If you want a chance to play these add-ons early, and this is where you non-season pass holders that don't want to pay for the add-ons are going to really be happy. They'll be running closed betas for each of the add-ons on consoles and PC. And you can sign up right now on Bethesda.net. In order to apply, you'll need to create a registered Bethesda.net account, and they will be selecting applicants in the upcoming weeks. Players accepted into the beta will not only receive a code to redeem the content, but the beta version will be the full version complete with achievements of the DLC. And those participating in the beta will not have to purchase the individual add-on. So I think that's a neat thing to do for the beta, because that means you're essentially getting it.
But that's not technically a beta.
They can call it what they want.
No. It's misleading because the purpose of a beta.
Yeah, and I'm wondering.
Well, the purpose of a beta is to test things. I don't think they're testing things.
What I think might be.
They'll catch some of the early game breaking bugs for sure, but the thing is they're just releasing early content. That's what it is. Because I mean, it's the full stuff. It's
what I think it is though is I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be the full game, but I think they're going to release it early and have like a tab in there somewhere for like send feedback and report bug and stuff like that, so that they can catch them. And I'm sure it's going to be a small handful of people. They're not just going to go throwing out beta keys, I don't think. I mean, because that'd just be way too much money lost in terms of, man hours and stuff like that. I think there's going to be like a select number of players on each console that get the beta keys, and it's not just. You don't just get the beta key for every DLC. You get it for one of the DLCs. So, but beyond the add-ons, we'll continue to offer free updates to the game, including new features like the recent weapon debris for PC and increased draw distances for consoles, as well as more optimizations to gameplay and quests. And something that we're really excited about is a complete overhaul of survival mode that changes how you play the whole game, including food, sleep, diseases, danger, and more. So it kind of starting to sound like the good old-fashioned hardcore mode in Fallout or New Vegas.
Are they going to fix Preston Garvey? Because I'm sick and tired of helping Settlement. Now they should be able to defend themselves with flying colors.
Yeah. I'm going to give you guys death claws. Please stop bothering me. That's what it's going to be. That DLC is going to come out.
It's like I have 86 fusion cores that I'm not using. I'm going to give all these settlers in these places, I'm going to give at least one of them a Gatling laser and like 40 fusion cores. And go to town.
Then when that workshop, that Wasteland workshop comes out, it's like, okay, I want to set traps up here because that's a good Deathclaw spawn. Maybe we can get a Deathclaw over here. It'd be really nice to get a couple super mutants. We're going to tame them all, and I'm going to give you all tamed creatures. Which means if you call on my help again, they're going to turn on you. Don't call for my help. You have a death claw. And finally, to finish off the article, they said, we're also hard at work on the creation kit, which will allow you to create and play mods absolutely free. We're currently testing both survival and the creation kit right now. More details will be forthcoming. So I'm saying probably the next month you'll see the creation kit. For those of you modders that are native to the creation kit and not the ways of these current modders who are just making things out of literally nothing.
Which is impressive.
Yes, very much so, but too much for me. I will pass on that. So, I think it's neat how they kind of had a game plan. They've got, the next 3 months we're going to be getting a DLC. I think that's a good way to keep the replay value of a game up because you're looking at getting quite a bit of content. Awkward silences.
Yep, the silence of awkwardness.
Trying to find.
I have a shtick about the season pass stuff. Is they're alienating part of their fan base. The people who don't have the season pass and who are not going to get the season pass or have no idea, and then all of a sudden they're hit with this $60 paywall of DLC where somebody can get for $30 right now or $50 later on. It's just really, really frustrating because it's like it's not as big of a problem as it is in like a game like Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield, I don't like it.
Well, where you have the premium, you get premium for like $40 or whatever, and then get all the DLC for free. It's not as big of a problem as that because Battlefield is a multiplayer game, so you're literally cutting your fan bases into pieces, and your DLC maps don't get the kind of playtime that they deserve. But with Fallout 4. You're just keeping your fans from playing your game and buying your game. But I guarantee you they're going to make more money off the season pass thing that they're doing right now than they would if they just sold the DLC.
Probably.
Which is really, really stupid.
But you're getting it. even if you buy the season pass when it's $50, you're still getting it at a discounted rate, and you're getting all the DLC.
Yeah, you're getting $10 off.
Of all the DLC.
Well, yeah, but it's $10 off.
So that's why I'm saying if you want the season pass, don't get it for $50. Get it now, before it goes up to $50. Because I think $30 is, even if it's a DLC you don't want and it was still $10, well, you got it. Cool. You don't want to install it, don't install it. But if you're getting it for... speaking of DLC season passes, Dark Souls 3 DLC season pass listed on Xbox One and Steam.
They already have DLCs planned for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really annoying. I don't like DLC culture.
The season pass costs $24.99 for you Dark Souls players. Not much is known about the content you'll receive from purchasing it. All we know is that it will contain 2 different DLC packs that include new maps, bosses, enemies, and additional weapons and armor sets. So, that's for you Dark Souls players.
I'm gonna finish Dark Souls 3. I'm gonna finish it. I've yet to finish any of the Dark Souls games, but I will finish Dark Souls 3.
I'm sure that's probably what you said when you bought Dark Souls 2.
Probably.
I will finish Dark Souls 2.
It's been so long ago.
To any of you people that were looking at getting Grand Theft Auto 5 and you play PlayStation, GTA 5 and more have been discounted in PlayStation's Rockstar Games sale. The PS4 boasts sales on Grand Theft Auto 5 at $38.99, San Andreas at $8.99, and Vice City at $8.99. But so I guess, did they make HD versions of those games? Because that's the PS4.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
San Andreas and Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 3 are in a bundle for $17.49 on PS4.
Yeah, okay. And?
They were PlayStation 2 games.
And? Your point is?
PlayStation 4 is not backwards compatible.
I guess there are HD remakes then. Or just updated. Probably
Whatever.
not updated too much graphic-wise, because that's a lot of work.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the lowest you're going to see GTA 5 on any console, period, end of story. $39?
Yeah, I wish I could get GTA 5 for $39 on Xbox One. Because...
Yeah.
Long story. But, yeah, I need to buy GTA 5 again.
Why didn't you take it in and get the upgrade?
What do you mean?
Like, you had the game, couldn't you get like a discount on the upgrade?
Well, I might be able to just install it for free. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
You'd have to look into that.
Technically, I think my brother owns it. So, I may not be able to get it for free.
Don't you guys share the same console, though? Like, I don't know how all that Xbox
the same console
works.
anymore.
Oh, he has his own Xbox One now?
Yeah, he got me one for my birthday, and he told me to get out of his room.
Oh, so you don't have a place to play it, but you have a console.
No, I have a place to play it.
He's like, here's a console, but you can't play it. What?
No, that's where the TV comes in, where I don't have a left ear.
Oh yeah, that's right. Should have told me. My parents, one of my mom's good friends at work was getting ready to sell like his big 55-inch, like 1080p, 75 megahertz refresh rate. So you're talking 75 frames a second. And he was giving it to her for $150.
That would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea it was all a Christmas gift.
I like this TV. I'm using the Insignia, just a little Insignia 40-inch. I wanted a 55. My parents didn't think I could fit a 55, and neither did I. I thought I'd be cutting it close, but now I realize that
you have plenty.
I have all the room in the world.
You have a lot of room there. You could probably stick like a 60 in there.
Oh, I probably could, especially if I put it on the wall, but I don't want to put it on the wall.
Why not?
I've always been nervous, but I have an 80-pound Labrador Retriever that stays up here sometimes.
Your point?
And it would be right at tail level, and her tail weighs like 12 pounds of her body weight, so if her tail swings into that, if it doesn't crack the TV, it might knock it off the wall. Plus, doing cords, I've always heard that doing wires and stuff on hanging TVs is a pain in the ass. Like, because you've got like 3 inches or less of working room. So it's just like you gotta, if you've got a cord that plugs into the back of the TV,
Why don't
you just have
keep
to be
using the TV stand?
I am.
No, I mean with like a 60-inch TV.
Oh, I don't know. I would if it's strong enough. That TV stand has a weight limit and it's not very big, but I can't remember. The instructions are up there, but I don't feel like getting up for something useless and not necessary to know.
Well, you can probably easily fix that. From what I see, you just take out those plastic posts and just put like
Stainless steel.
Either that or just like wooden dowels in it, and it'd be fine.
I-beams.
Yeah. Giant ass I-beams.
My TV stand can withstand a nuke.
My TV stand has a maximum capacity of 4,700 people. What about yours? It's like, dude, you can't even fit 4,700 people in there. But if you could,
it would work. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of gaming setup, I am a very non-typical gaming setup person. Most people that play PC, like avid PC players, will have like 4 monitors. I can't understand that. I don't understand the need to have more than one program opened at once. And everybody's like, well, you can play a couple different games at once. I'm like,
how?
Why?
Well, why? But also how? I mean, usually get absorbed into one game. Like if I'm playing Battlefield, I'm playing Battlefield. Especially if I'm in a good game. I'm playing Battlefield. I can't exactly, switch over and play Galaga for a little bit.
See, you hear something out of the corner of your eye in battle, or your left earphone in Battlefield. It's just like, oh, I got to move. My sniping position's compromised. You get up and run away, knife the guy that was trying to assassinate you, and then you crouch somewhere else and go back to playing Galaga. Look over through your scope every now and again. Oh, there's a guy. Pow!
Yeah, go back to reach over and click the mouse, get a headshot.
I tell you I broke my record headshot in Battlefield again?
I think I broke mine, but mine wasn't that far anyways.
Yeah, I'm starting to really get good at sniping in Battlefield, although it took me forever to get this shot sighted in, because the thing that irks me about Battlefield and its sniping is it tries so hard to nerf something that doesn't really need to get nerfed. They're trying to make it... What?
I said on PC it might, especially in mid-range.
Mid-range to a certain degree.
Unquote mid-range sniping for snipers, like 500 meters.
But, like, why can't I, A, have a bipod and a rangefinder? Yeah, because those are the two those are the two that you can't have. And why can't I have a bipod and a straight bolt? You can't have a bipod and a rangefinder at the same time either.
No, you can't.
Or no, it's variable zoom.
I was going to say, it was a variable zoom. It's your attachment. You can't have a bipod and a straight bolt.
Which is dumb. They're not even on the remote same spot on the freaking gun.
Yeah, one's on the barrel, the other one's next to your face.
Yeah. So, and the reason I think it doesn't need nerfed is because when you're a sniper in Battlefield, you've got the giant scope glint to give your location away. If they're not going to give me anything to counteract that, I should be able to have a bit of a beefier rifle.
You know what really frustrates me? The bow. Which is not a sniper rifle. But it acts like a sniper rifle. It does the same stuff as a sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Because with your bow, you have a clearer vapor trail than a sniper rifle does. And that doesn't even make any sense. You're shooting an arrow. Why does it have a vapor trail?
It's rocket propelled.
Yeah, I guess. Sure. And then also with the defensive field upgrade, you can't get a one-shot body shot.
Yeah.
And the bow, it A, travels very slowly, B, drops like a rock, and C, some other third thing.
No, some other third thing.
And some other third thing. But I mean, and the rate of fire is so atrocious.
Yeah.
You need to be able to one-shot body shot. If you can land that body shot, it should kill them.
See, now
at least to make it halfway viable.
All the kills all the deaths that I've taken from a bow have been one-shot kills. Like they've hit me.
You don't run with the defensive field upgrade.
No, I run with the sniper upgrade.
But if you run with defensive, anything that gives you the body armor, it'll let you live. with like 10% health, but that's enough to kill the person with the bow.
Like for me, but seriously though, in the sniping category thing though, I'm a dedicated sniper. Like when I snipe, I am only sniping. I am not gonna go around with a pistol and grenades. And if I'm a sniper, I'm using a long range rifle with the biggest ass scope that you can put on it, and a bipod. Now, my ideal setup, if Battlefield wouldn't nerf things, would be the 40 times zoom with the 14 variable and a rangefinder with a bipod and a straight bolt.
Well, that's basically all the attachments
I know.
except for a compensator
Or a suppressor. Which I don't need because and to me,
I don't know why they offer those things with the sniper rifles, because those
Yeah.
are automatic weapon attachments.
yeah,
Or in Battlefield, they only affect the automatic weapons.
the compensators, yeah. The suppressors,
It's like,
I
well,
could
I
see-
put my compensator on, now my rifle goes straight up instead of going straight to the left.
No.
But I only take one shot anyways.
my take on the suppressors though is they're really only good if you're doing short range sniping.
Yeah, like mid range.
Because they do cut your range down a lot.
Yep.
And there's no need for it because if you're sniping at long range, you're not going to blip on somebody's map anyways.
Yeah.
So there's no sense in it. It's not like they could, because even when the bullet either impacts them or misses them, it's still going to make the clapping noise every time. So they're going to know they're being shot at. It's not like it's just going to be like pew, pew.
Yep.
It's going to be psh, psh.
You're not gonna have at that range in Battlefield. You're not gonna have the sound of the rifle, anyways.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have the sound of the bullet.
But, and yeah, I know that sounds needy, having all those attachments, but as a long-range sniper, it's really hard. And everybody's like, well, just use the PLD. And the PLD doesn't work that way. It is a laser designator, not a rangefinder. The ranges are usually wrong. And if you're somebody like me who's sniping at 850 plus meters, you're not going to get an accurate reading. Because my longest headshot was, I think it's at 1700 meters. And that took forever to sight in. You have no idea. And he was like a dot. With the 40 times zoom, he was a dot. So I'm sitting there, and Nate was my spotter. And I'm like, Nate, can you see him? And he's just like, see who? Like the guy I'm shooting at, and he's like,
yeah, the PLD has a range where
the
thermals
don't work. So the PLD is great if you're doing like 300 to 600 meter sniping. It'll give you pretty accurate readings enough to sort of get an idea of where to sight or where to aim your gun. But when you're sniping at 600 plus meters, it's a laser designator. And that's why I don't use it as a spotting scope, because it's not. It is a laser designator. That'd be one thing I'd like to see them add, is actually like a tool, like a laser or a spotting scope, where you can get a range on how far away your enemy. God dang it!
Why does it do that?
I don't know. There's an air buildup in the damn can, and it gets worse as time goes on. You have to open the can to let the air release. I told you I was playing a game the other night, and I'm sitting here hunched over my controller, and it sounded like somebody hit it with a bat, and it scared the shit out of me. And the cat was laying next to me, and she got up and ran, like in the blink of an eye. One moment she was laying peacefully beside me, and the next moment her tail was about 4 inches wide, and she was at the door. But no, like, I can see where they're trying to nerf snipers to make them not so grievously misused.
Yep.
But they've already got a really big downside. I mean, like I said, your scope.
They're trying to move. They're actually trying to move snipers closer to the objectives, so they have more of an objective effect on the game.
And you see, I position myself when I'm sniping. If I'm with a crew of people that I know, which is usually never, I will watch the objective, because I'll get a position where I can usually see almost the entire objective of probably 2 or 3 bases on the map. I'll get myself high and low, or high and then crouch down on a mountain where I can see a couple objectives at once. And I'll say, okay, go for that objective, and I'll spot you and make sure nobody's in there. And I'll watch, and if there's somebody in there, I'll pop them, and then they'll go and take the objective. So I can kind of see where they're trying to move people closer, but again, then don't make a sniper class. Just don't. The recon class is reconnaissance. It is supposed to be a matter of long range, low firefights, being able to tell your team where people are. If you want snipers to be firefight people, then don't name the class recon, because it's not. I've always interpreted recon as...
They could make the class one of two things and make the carbines and the DMRs class-specific weapons.
Yeah.
And remove the bolt actions altogether.
Yeah.
And then have that as the recon class. So they're either close range or
long range.
Long range. They're not extra long range. So you would have those kind of people like there, and they would be in the objective, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to get that much points. To me, I've never seen, if that's the case, if they're actually trying to get to the point where snipers are supposed to be more involved in the firefight, that defeats the purpose of sniping. That's one thing that always irks me too, is everybody, when you kill a sniper or another sniper or somebody as a sniper, like I'm spotting around and I shoot somebody, you stupid, and he drops dead, he's just like, you stupid camping noob. I'm like, using the M98B with a 40 times zoom and a bipod. I'm a sniper. Snipers camp. That's what they do. You don't... And that's why everybody's like, oh, look at that sniper, and you see this sniper bunny hopping around and running around the map shooting people. I'm like, that's not sniping. That's being a moron with a bolt-action rifle. That's the other thing I hate, too, is Battlefield tries its best to be realistic, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate some of the things they don't make realistic, but bullet travel speeds, really? That's what took me so long. That's one of the reasons it took me so long to get that 1,700-meter headshot. Because I'd shoot, and he'd see the bullet, and he'd go, oh, it's coming, and he'd move out of the way. Yeah,
that's not...
Whenever you can see the bullet coming and have, like, a good...
5 seconds or so.
Like a second and a half, which is a long-ass time to move out of the way.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's just... Because I knew he could see me, too. Because
by me saying he has a second and a half to move, I mean, whenever you shoot and you see the bullet, you have a second and a half before the bullet takes another second and a half to hit the ground. So it's like a 3-second flight time over 1,000 meters, which is...
With a high-powered sniper rifle,
which should be...
less than a second.
Or 1 second.
At best,
at most.
I mean, but it was so... And he was a cool sport about it.
Whenever an assault rifle has a higher muzzle velocity than a bolt-action rifle, there's an issue.
He was a cool sport about it, though. I'm sitting there, I'm like... The guy ended up being a really nice guy. And most of the time when you counter-snipe somebody like that, because he and I were shooting at each other. We were both trying to get that kill. And I finally got him. He's like, dude, good shot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, but you got to quit fucking moving. Because it was so frustrating. I would take a shot, and I always base my drop after the previous shot. So I get to the point where I could see it just dropping over his body, and I'm like, okay, I got to be getting real close. So I'll raise just a hair more, and then I'll shoot it, and I'll know I'm getting close because he'll move out of the way. Yeah. And he'll just... And it's not even enough
whenever they start moving is whenever you know you're getting close.
Because they can hear the claps, and they're like, oh, I probably moved. But it was just so frustrating because he's still sitting there, and, he's got his rifle, and he's laying down prone, and he'd strafe one direction or the other and then fire at me, and then strafe and then fire. And I'm just like, God dang it. Makes it so impossible. Battlefield, raise the bullet velocity, please.
I think I broke my record, which is only like 1,100 meters.
Yeah,
but
your previous record was like 600.
Well, yeah, it didn't sit down and snipe that long, or for that long range. My record in Battlefield 3 was like 800 meters, which is pretty impressive for that game.
For game because it's got like the best you could get was a 12 times zoom.
Yeah, but so. Yeah, I'm just looking at this guy, and I didn't really move. I just sat there and kept shooting at him. He was dancing all over the place, but...
I always prey off the stupid people who think they find the creative sniping spots, like in Hide Resort, where they get on top of the building and they think that's the best sniping spot in the game. You're painting this giant red target on your face.
Like,
Because
hey, I'm a sniper in a high spot. Okay.
I hide myself behind rocks, in bushes, on mountains, way far away, but just enough so that I can see them. And they'll just get up there and they'll start shooting. And I'm like, if you want to be a sniper, run up there, get the pickup rifle, and then run away. Don't go up there. That is the fastest way to die. Because if you don't get taken out by a chopper or a squad of players coming up the elevator, you're going to get taken out by a sniper. There's no question, because it's at that distance where it's like 500, 600 meters, and for me, that's my comfortable range where I can usually take them out in one shot. And I'm just like, oh, Nate, look, pow, headshot. Oh, Nate, look, a sniper, pow, headshot. And there was one where it was a really cool battle between me and Nate. We were both sniping, and then there were two snipers up there. And so we split up. And I went farther to the shore, and he went farther up the mountain. And he took out the one sniper, and then the other guy panicked because the guy next to him, you just hear that, ah! And he's just like, and he starts looking at Nate, and I'm like, don't worry, Nate, pow, headshot. And I'm like, people don't go up there. I prey off stupid people in that game. That actually, I think, was my best KD in one game too. I went like 13-0 because I'm just headshots, and I probably used 17 rounds. I only missed a couple times. I was so happy with myself. I consider myself a decent sniper. I can't hit moving targets real well. That's difficult. Of course, in Battlefield, you can't really anticipate the movement.
They'll be sprinting one direction, they'll stop or move another direction, or start jumping, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Dang it.
Go in a straight line, you moron.
Although when I'm getting suppressed by a sniper, I usually serpentine. Like, I'm just like, serpentine, and then I'll fool them, and I'll juke one direction and go the other just to try to, make my path. And I usually don't get hit, but that or the fire just usually stops. They probably give up. I give up on people that do that. If I'm shooting and they just start, like, sporadically running around, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with it.
Yeah.
I'll just go to somebody who's sitting still. But definitely some upgrades that I'd like to see done to Battlefield that will never happen, but
hey, Battlefield 5 is going to come out sometime.
Yeah, but they're going to still going to nerf snipers and make them not snipers. Make them rifles. They're just going to make them like hunting rifles. The bullets travel really, 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 really slow. They have a drop off of a sniper rifle range, but yeah. And the other thing that they need to adjust the head hitbox in that game. The head hitbox shouldn't just be your head. It should be your neck too. I've hit people in the throat with the M98 and they've walked away.
That is frustrating.
You're dead.
You
are so dead.
You don't have a head anymore.
That was 50 caliber of lead right through your windpipe.
The M98B actually shoots a 308 in that game. It's a civilian rifle.
Oh, well, that's dumb. You're still dead, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a hole as big as a quarter in your throat. You're done. I just wish that they'd do something to kind of compensate for that. It's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I'm a sniper. I have sniper problems.
I'm still miffed about the everything does one less damage thing. I'm still miffed about that. That's my issues.
Yeah,
because whenever I'm running around and I'm using something like the ACWR, and landing that 6th shot is harder than it sounds. So I can get 5 shots, no problem. It's just that 6th shot. That's the problem. And that's at close range. Otherwise, I'm throwing pebbles at people and trying to hit them with 8 or 10 bullets. That's a third of a clip. Or a mag. That's a third of a magazine.
So we're going to do
one dude.
Another major subject change, because we just went from Fallout to Grand Theft Auto and from Grand Theft Auto to Battlefield. And now we're going from Battlefield to Destiny. Destiny toys are coming. See them here.
Cool. Alright.
You can buy Mega Blocks modeled after Destiny content, like ships and stuff. I'm just imagining all the
ships are
cheesy,
so-
stupid stop motion films that pop up on YouTube where they overdub audio from the game in over these mega block ships.
But the ships are pointless. They serve no purpose. I wish
Yeah.
they served a purpose. I wish there was a minigame where you could race ships. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Just like I wish that you could, in Assassin's Creed 4, I wish there was a multiplayer mission or a multiplayer game mode where you could actually in ship combat.
Uh-huh.
Would be really cool.
Like, we discussed this before, but I wish Ubisoft would make a pirate game.
Yeah.
It would be the best pirate game ever.
Yep. But they just put that and they threw the towel and they're like, we're done.
Yeah, they just shipped out the best ship mechanics of any game that has ever been released, and we're like, yeah, that's it, and left.
Well, I was talking about one of my Steam friends was playing that game a couple days after we released that podcast, and I'm like, oh, you got Assassin's Creed 4? And she's like, Assassin's Creed? I'm like, yeah, it's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. She's like, no, this is a pirate game.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed just gets in the way.
Yeah, basically. That game is fun until you have to do the Assassin's Creed part of it. And then you're just like, oh, this shit again?
Okay. Is there something I'm missing about Destiny?
The Taken King? Yes. You're missing the Taken King.
But everybody's leaving. Look, Mass Effect Andromeda lead writer, so that's the Mass Effect game that was announced and is still in development, leaves to join the Destiny developers.
Money. That's why.
Says that Mass Effect Andromeda is going to blow people away. That's ridiculous. And I've never been a huge, Mass Effect player. Everybody seems to, everybody's like, oh, Mass Effect's great. It's great. Like, it's just one of those space games that I can't get into.
I haven't really played Mass Effect. I've heard it's really, really good, but those kind of games aren't my cup of tea.
I just don't do space games very much.
Like Dragon Age and Mass Effect and stuff. They're pretty good games.
I thought you played Dragon Age.
I play a little bit of it. I mean, I haven't beat either one of them yet.
I have Dragon Age Inquisitions and Dragon Age Origins because Dragon Age Origins was free on Origin a while back, and it sucks.
It's pretty good. It's got a good story. But
It's very...
God, that one part of the game, oh my God, sucks.
I probably
so
spent 2.5
hard.
hours, and about an hour and 45 minutes of that is me trying to find out how to leave the first spot in the game, and I couldn't, so I just quit.
Who were you playing as?
I don't remember even anymore.
Was it a human noble?
I think so.
Yeah, don't play as a human noble.
See if there's any interesting... Halo 5's next free update detailed. That's one game I wish would come to PC again. Is Halo 5. Quit playing guitar. Shut up. I'm gonna come over there and take it away. Every time you do that, it slides a little bit farther down until it's going to hit the arm of the chair on the tuning pegs, and then it's going to make the strings wonky. Quit. But that's one game that I'd like to see return to the PC platform is Halo. I think you could...
You know, it was originally supposed to be a PC exclusive.
Doesn't surprise me.
Did you know originally it was supposed to be a third-person shooter? Kind of like...
Also doesn't surprise me.
Kind of like... What's that one game that's really popular right now? XCOM?
I've never played it.
It's a strategy game.
Don't you be careful with that. Quit it! For those of you that just heard whatever that sound was,
that's me playing with the springs on the mic stand.
Tyler whacked the springs on the microphone boom, and they make this really low humming noise when you do that. But I think that you could get so many, because the PC community is growing. Like,
well, yeah, but
vastly.
I mean, it's not like
Matter
it's
of
not
fact,
like it's not Bungie.
it's not Bungie.
It's 343. It's not like
it's
their
Microsoft,
decision,
which is
it's
dumb.
Microsoft,
Which I think is really dumb because I read an article where they had like a graph of PC sales versus console sales over time, and from the dawn of PC, it's always been lower than consoles. But they said within the next 2 months that it's anticipated it's actually going to surpass console.
Everybody, like so many things I've been saying have been like, PC gaming is dead. PC gaming is dead.
No, it's at its strongest point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like everything I've seen so far has been leading me to believe that PC is at its strongest point that it's ever been. And it doesn't look like it's gonna
fall because with every amount of technological upgrades, the PC gets them first. Because your consoles come out every couple years. You can get new hardware and new PC stuff every single year. Your PC is always going to surpass your consoles, in my opinion. Hardware-wise, you can always make a PC better than a console. You can make a PC better than the next generation of consoles that will come out. You can make a PC that comes out the same day better within 2 weeks. There's always going to be something better, more powerful, just always going to be something better.
The thing is, though, is optimization, though. Because, like, if you look at the launch of PS3 and look at the games that launched with PS3, and then you look at a title like The Last of Us, and you compare them, it's like, holy shit. How did that happen? And it's even more remarkable with the Xbox 360, because the launch titles of the Xbox 360 weren't exactly, head-turning pieces of art. No. And by the end, they looked very, very good. Granted, not as good as
Halo 4.
Well, yeah,
Halo 4 was a pretty polished game.
Well, they didn't look as good as anything on the PS3 at the end of it, but the PS3 was also a later console.
So I
can't wait to see what the new systems optimize in the later years of their life.
To me, I've always been biased to PC just because I know more PC players. There's a lot more freedom on PC games. There's a lot of games out there. One thing that I like about PC games is it's always backwards compatible with itself. I don't have to worry about a game going out of date. And people can make the argument that, well, your graphics might get crappy. There's always ways to adjust for that. You just adjust your screen ratio, and you can get right size. I can play, like, when they still had emulators, you could play Game Boy games on your computer. The PC is just such a powerful mechanism, and so I think that's why it'd be in Microsoft's best interest to release Halo back to computers. Just because imagine, you'd at least double your fan base.
I mean, especially with Cortana on Windows.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pair it with a Windows release. Like, buy this version of Windows 10 and get Halo 5.
Yeah.
Or the Master Chief Collection.
There's just so much money to be made there, because I know that FPS is probably the biggest game genre out there right now. And if you release another major title like Halo to a PC, you're talking huge spikes in sales. Like, unthinkable amounts of money. I don't understand why because Microsoft owns the PC market. Like, it's, granted, Mac and Linux, but when you release it,
Mac and Linux,
it's a Windows game.
I'm pretty sure everybody universally agrees that Windows is better for
pretty much PC gaming.
For a lot of stuff.
So, I mean, if you release it as a Windows PC title, you are making tons more money. I don't understand why they've alienated that section of their marketplace. I don't. Like, in my opinion, if Sony had another console like a PC, like, say Sony had some sort of computer program like a PC or some sort of thing, I can imagine that all the Sony exclusives would still be on PS4 or on that other console. I think business-wise it sounds more sound Like, it seems more logical to release to all of the consoles that you own.
And I mean, plus you'd be releasing them digitally on an outlet like Steam.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And Steam's huge.
You wouldn't even have to make copies of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't that sure of your sales, you wouldn't have to make physical copies of the game, so you wouldn't have to spend money to make those. You could just release it on a digital platform like Steam and do that.
I wonder, you know what? I wonder if that's why they don't do it.
Because they would have to release through Steam.
I wonder if it's because
they probably would want to develop their own stuff.
Yeah, they'd be like EA and have like Origin, something like that, which I think is silly. But and honestly, Steam provides a huge advantage for a lot of developers. I mean, because people always think, well, when they release these big sales and, you know, sell big name titles for $10, you got to think the game company's losing money, but they're not. Because when that game is $10, that means your sales increase exponentially on that title.
Yeah, everybody looks at it and goes, look, that game is $10.
And they're like, I got to get it because it's never going to be $10 again. So I think if you were to release, we'll use Halo 4, for example, because it was a pretty good Xbox 360 game. Imagine they released Halo 4 on PC through Steam. And they did like this huge sale where, you know, the game comes out and then about a month and a half later something happens and they release it, you know, it's 50% off, so you can get the game for $30 now. You'd sell copies like hotcakes. I don't understand. Maybe it's some sort of partnership with Steam or whatnot. To me, it seems more financially wise to release to all the platforms you own, with the exception of phones, because that's just not possible.
Play Halo on your phone.
I think there actually is a Halo game for phones, which
I think so too.
bothers me even more. How come phones get Halo titles and the only thing the PC's gotten since the Combat Evolved was Spartan Assault?
Which,
that POS game.
It's not that great.
I don't know. And part of it's PC bias, but I think I'd have because for crying out loud, your base controller, all computers except an Xbox controller is a gaming pad.
Yeah, and I mean, with the new Forge, you need to check that out, by the way. With the new Forge released with Halo 5, the PC community would
go to town,
up. They would absolutely tear that up, because Forge is so in depth now.
Use a service similar to the Nexus, but for your Forge maps and game modes that people make, and just like go to this website to download the latest top Forge.
You can do it like they do on Xbox with your Halo profiles.
Yeah,
because you just have your Halo profiles, and you could probably put them on like a quote unquote store where you can be like, hey, download this map.
You know what? Honestly, something that just dawned on me. I wonder if they don't release to PC because Xbox has a live subscription in order to play online.
Maybe.
And I wonder if financially that makes them more money.
Probably does.
I mean, yeah, it definitely would, but I wonder if that's why they don't release PC, because PC is all free internet. I mean, you don't pay, with the exception of the games that charge you for a monthly membership, which is dumb.
And you paying for your own internet.
Yeah. So
People
I wonder.
Don't pay you to use your console on the internet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's why, because I own, for instance, I didn't buy my computer through any particular retailer. Like it's a custom built computer, so they're not getting money from my computer. They're just getting money to play the game. So I'm wondering if that might be why. I wonder if they just think it'd be more financially sound to charge them, which to some degree I can understand. But if you're going to do it that way, maybe make a small membership fee for Halo on PC. Say like, $5 a month or this much annually, and obviously $5 is lowballing it, giving Microsoft's greedy history. But you could pay this much for a month or buy an annual membership for this much. Just don't make it Elder Scrolls, please. $15 a month on top of the $60 game fee before they fix that.
ESO was a disappointment. It was a massive disappointment. There was a free fucking Dungeons and Dragons MMO released on Xbox One that is better than ESO. What the hell? Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
I didn't even make it through the first fucking dungeon before I got bored.
And you know what makes me mad is that everybody gives Bethesda crap for that. Bethesda had nothing to do with that.
That was ZeniMax.
That was all ZeniMax. And everybody beforehand was like, "Oh, well, if they make this..."
And plus, it's not even what... They didn't even tell us that's what we were getting. They told us we were getting
Skyrim
Elder Scrolls with your friends.
With your friends, yeah. And it wasn't even Elder Scrolls with your friends.
It was
crap.
Bull. It was so hard to play with your friends.
I used to want a Fallout MMO, but after seeing what that happened, unless Bethesda's in charge of the project, I don't want anything like that. Because I like Fallout. Personally, I like Fallout more than I like the Elder Scrolls. They're both great games, and I love both game titles, but I'm a huge Fallout fan. Maybe it's just because it's more...
I don't know about you, though. I am sick of gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I was playing Fallout 4 for, a long time, and, you just look around and everything's gray and bombed out and gray and dull.
Blue
Except
skies.
For the sky. That's the only thing.
And the radiation storms.
I have to say, at least it's not Fallout 3.
Oh God, the green haze. No, then you wouldn't be saying gray. It'd be green.
And green.
I'm
if it
tired
wasn't
of
gray, it was.
Or
green.
New Vegas, it's got an orange hue.
Hey, that was still better than looking at green and gray the whole time.
I had to go and mod all that stuff out. I found like this guide to making the most gorgeous visuals in both of those games. And both of them added ENBs that got rid of those hazes, and automatically getting rid of that overtone just made the game that much more pretty.
Immersive.
Yeah, it just looks so much better. So much good.
So much gooder.
It looked so much gooder.
It looked so much gooder.
But yeah. So, but if ever a Fallout MMO comes out, it needs to be done right.
Yeah.
And if ZeniMax does do it, I swear to God, I hope they learn from their mistakes from ESO.
Yeah, don't release a pile of steaming shit. Like
ESO
was.
It needs to be good.
Do you know ESO, Tamriel Unlimited is still $60?
Yeah.
Why? It's like Evolve. Even though it's the definitive edition, it's still $60.
Well, because...
Who's ever heard of Evolve,
Yeah.
It was released 2 years ago. And now, whenever you talk to somebody, they're like, "Hey, you remember Evolve?" They're like, "What?
What?" I think in their mindset, what they think is now that we're not charging a membership membership fee, you can just buy the game. I think if that's the case, because there's still a paywall, there's still a membership. You can pay for premium content. I think if you're going to do that, you should make the game like $40.
Yeah.
Not 60, and then have a paywall for players. I think that's dumb. But.
Going back to my original thing where I hate gray, I was, playing Fallout 4 a lot and everything's gray except for the sky. Everything is gray. And I was like, you know what? I want to change of pace. So I went and played Skyrim and everything is gray and white. And that's really, really annoying. But I did make a new character. His name is Steve Podgers.
Steve Podgers.
He's Captain America.
See, that'd be great because I have the Captain America shield mod in my Skyrim.
Yeah.
So you can just go in there.
It's on Xbox 360.
Just go in there and grab the Captain America shield and get a Captain America outfit mod so you can just run around.
But yeah, I'm currently realizing how much of a mistake that is because I'm not using a weapon. So I don't have something to constantly level me up like that. So after a little bit, I have to go to someplace and let people wail on me and wail on my shield so I can actually raise some skills so I can level up.
I need to. That's one thing I need to do. I need to get some graphic overhauls for Skyrim. Make that game because that game's got a lot of potential. Gorgeous.
You can actually saturate the game with mods and you can actually put color in it. Imagine that. Get the floral overhauls and
that game has a ton of potential visually.
Yeah, I've seen somebody.
I have, yeah. I've seen videos.
Change and actually add saturation to the game. It looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. It looks beyond gorgeous.
The problem is though, you got to get a lot of pretty complicated mods to do that. Like your shaders and your ENBs and stuff. It's really difficult to configure and make sure that they work, especially trying to find versions that are compatible with your system and your game release. It's pretty difficult because some of them are different versions for different systems and there's a ton of variables that go into making it look right. And if you've got one variable wrong, you'll get these flashy purple and blue lights everywhere, and it just looks bad. You get these bad graphic bugs if you've got one misplaced variable. So if you do it right, you can make the game look gorgeous. But if you do it almost perfect and right, it's a train wreck.